I'm Magnus Linklater, and welcome to the latest Times Forum here at the Royal Society of Edinburgh. And the subject we're talking about today is export. Exports in Scotland are hugely important and growingly important part of the Scottish economy. In tough economic times, companies are looking to export more, and there are ambitious targets for increasing Scottish exports. But what help do companies need in order to penetrate markets like the Far East and the Middle East? That's what we're going to be talking about today, and we've assembled a group of some of the top experts in the export business. So we're looking forward to an intensive and interesting discussion.
If we look at the Scotch whisky industry as a whole, over 90% of Scotch is exported. Our business, Ian MacLeod Distillers, probably exports well over 85% of our output, be it blends, be it single malts, in over 55 markets worldwide. So Scotch as an industry is doing phenomenally well at the moment, and much of that is down to very good exports. Over £4 billion worth of exports now, over 1 billion bottles sold per annum abroad. The Scotch whisky industry makes up 25% of all UK food and drink exports. So a great success story, much of it based around export.
The Global Scot Network is a tremendous opportunity for Scottish companies to use the knowledge and experience that Scots have, not just retired Scots like myself based back in the UK, but Scots who are in country in influential positions with companies who can look at the experience and the knowledge that they've gained and help Scottish companies that are trying to export by giving them good sound advice.
Well, UKTI actually covers the whole of the UK, but we do work very much with various organisations such as the devolved administrations, the English regions, and we have private sector partners, notably trade associations and chambers of commerce. One thing we do find over and over that really makes the biggest difference is if you can visit the market. And one of the schemes I mentioned earlier, the one that I run, the Trade Show Access Programme, exists to do just that, to enable you to visit the market, to get out there, and that makes the biggest business impact. But you have to keep visiting the market after that if you want to continue to do business.
I think the starting point for all companies has to be to go back to their strategy. And one thing that's really important is to identify what the key objectives of the company's strategy for growth is. Once you've identified the right markets, I think then what's really important is for customers to undergo quite extensive research to understand the dynamics of that particular market.
90% of our sales are in exports, largely to North America and Japan. One of the biggest challenges for us has been that with our sale it's very important to meet with clients face to face. I think when Biopta first started out, international trade shows and conferences were extremely important, and their importance is no less so, but we use those in conjunction with using digital marketing and e-commerce now, but it's important for us to maintain both.
We are quite basically one of the first businesses in our industry to have an online shop, because we make parts of satellites, we make full satellites as well, so it's kind of unusual to buy them with your credit card online, but we kind of pioneered that whole kind of area of the business. But one of the reasons we've done that is so that we had a shop that people felt comfortable with using, in terms of, because most people buy things online these days no matter where they are in the world, so they could do the same thing with our products but more to get information on our products, so it's in a more kind of catalogue shop-like format. I would say that e-commerce is one of the most important factors for any business that wants to start trading internationally.
Well, we've been exporting salmon since the late 1970s, and at that time it was a bit more straightforward to export your fish, and that primarily was to France and the States. But through time, we've found new markets, notably in the Middle East, the Far East, and in Africa. So we've developed the main market for us, which is the Chinese market, and we've been sending fish there now for 2.5 years. So in that time, certainly in 2011, 2012, we sold in the region of £20 million worth of Scottish salmon.
So the key thing I would say is for any business that's internationalising is pick up the phone, come in to see us, or ping us an email to either Highlands Isles Enterprise, Scottish Enterprise or Scottish Development International. We're here to help, and there's a lot of help available. Most of it is free. The only cost to you as individual business is your own time, certainly initially.
We probably recognised that we weren't taking advantage of global markets properly and more strategically. So our technical director went along to the Smart Exporter as a dipping his toe in to find out what we could do and how we could develop that more. And that was extremely beneficial, and it's led us into yourselves with the support and really finding a foundation to build upon now properly and more strategically.
Well, we've had a fascinating couple of hours discussing the business of exports, and some ideas have been crossing the table about how companies can improve their exports, can penetrate markets that they may not even tried before, how to encourage new companies to get involved in exports, how to encourage existing companies to improve their performance. That's the kind of thing we've been discussing, and round the table some of the top experts have been giving us their advice and their input into this fascinating topic. The discussion has been detailed, expert, and thoroughly worthwhile.